Coverage you can count on. This is Channel 3 Eyewitness News at 11 in HD.
One, two, three, four, five, six, 7.
Hello.
Mic check 1 2. Mic check 1 2.
Get over your stuff.
I don't know that I'm.
With coverage you can count on. This is Channel 3 Eyewitness News at 11 in HD.
Good evening. Thank you for joining us. I'm Greg Glover.
And I'm Cindy Sexton. The wall on the U.S.-Mexican border that President Donald Trump promised on the campaign trail took a big step closer to becoming reality. He signed 2 executive orders aimed at curbing illegal immigration.
The president has said enforcing immigration laws and closing the border are intended to keep the nation safe. But some Dalton residents believe he's causing more hatred than good. New at 11, Channel 3 Eyewitness News reporter Kate Smith has more.
Local volunteers with a Hispanic advocacy group say they are fearful for what the next 4 years will bring for them and their families. But the possibility of the wall going up isn't going to stop them from fighting for what they believe in. When Donald Trump was elected as the 45th president of the United States, Consuelo Salaces instantly became fearful for the future.
Hate was gonna go to our White House and be the president. It was just a very saddening morning for me.
The president is keeping his campaign promise to build a wall on the Mexican border. Some local immigrants feel building a wall builds hatred towards working class people looking for the American dream.
Now they're coming against Muslims, immigrants, women. So what we're gonna do? We need to unite and organize.
President Donald Trump says the wall is about border security and keeping criminals out of the country.
Enhancing public safety in the interior of the United States. Public safety in the interior of the United States. What can be more important?
But Consuelo says it's unfair to group all Mexicans in the same category.
They're gonna start deporting left and right. That's my fear and my family's fear.
With so much worry about deportation in the Hispanic community, America Gruner is urging Mexican children to stay vigilant.
You're right about being afraid, but also you have a community around you that is gonna fight for you and to keep you as safe as possible.
And for those fearful, there is a glimmer of hope. These women want everyone to remember walls are able to be torn down.
Remember that these are tactics of fear to instigate distrust among each other, and don't let them to control us by fear.
If we just work together as a country, we can accomplish more and more.
President Trump says the wall will save money and lives on both sides of the U.S. and Mexico border. The Mexican president has insisted his country will not pay for the wall. Live in the studio, I'm Kate Smith, Channel 3 Eyewitness News.
Kate, thank you. It's been nearly 7 months now since a violent night in Chattanooga, and at least one murder remains unsolved. Gunfire rang out as 28-year-old Alex Freeman was celebrating his birthday at his house off Woodland Lane. Father of 9 was outside with his kids, his friends, and his family. Freeman was killed. Another person was injured. Because of the darkness and the chaos, there were few details to go on. It was thought to be a dark-colored 4-door sedan. Inside, at least 2 people. The hope is by now, whoever did this has talked. If you know anything, call Crime Stoppers, 698-3333. Up to $1,000 cash is waiting. No questions. We'll never even ask who you are.
Chattanooga police officers started their day in a new way today by involving the community. Each shift meets for a daily briefing, typically in an office or a conference room. Today, they decided to hold their meeting in public, inside the food court at Hamilton Place Mall. Police hope the public meetings will open communication with residents and law enforcement.
To also show the residents and the community that we are here to make sure that they're safe no matter which community they happen to be in that day.
Hamilton Place has been the center of recent crime in the city since Black Friday. Chattanooga police have responded to 3 disturbances at Hamilton Place Mall. The food court is also where most people gather at the mall, and that's why police say they chose the location for today's briefings.
Schools in our area are seeing an increased number of illness-related absences this week.
Channel 3 Eyewitness News reporter Natalie Potts has what you need to know.
We have a mixture of flu and strep and norovirus. It hits hard and fast. Usually it will wipe you out for sometimes 72 hours of severe vomiting and diarrhea. Children particularly can get dehydrated fairly quickly. The younger they are, the faster they can dehydrate.
Hamilton County Nurse Coordinator Cheryl Fletcher says schools on the north end of the county are seeing a variety of illnesses. 8 nurses called out sick last week, with a few more out this week. North Hamilton Elementary School reported 55 absences so far this week, with 12 confirmed cases of the flu. Teachers in neighboring Marion County reported 363 student absences last week. Today, 222 kids are at home sick.
I did talk to our medical consultant at Children's or at Erlanger, and he says they're seeing an increase in respiratory illnesses as well.
Health officials say if you got the flu shot, that doesn't mean you're in the clear.
What they're reporting is that the kids that are out with a diagnosis of flu have been vaccinated.
This was a scary thought for us because that would mean that either the strain is different or the vaccine did not cover, because none of the vaccines are 100% protective against all the germs.
Dr. Shayla Cockub says fewer patients came in to get the shot this year. She thinks more parents chose to opt out because the flu mist was not an option this year.
You know, once it starts rolling, you know, you can't really stop it. Once you get a virus, it just has to run its course. So our thing is to prevent.
School officials ask parents to keep sick children at home. They also encourage washing your hands and covering your cough. Doctors still suggest getting the flu vaccine. They say it's never too late in this season. In the studio, Natalie Potts, Channel 3 Eyewitness News.
Today, a nearly year-long construction project was begun on Hickson Pike. TDOT crews are working on the overpass above Highway 153. One lane will be closed both directions until November. TDOT's goal is to have the overpass open by Thanksgiving for the holiday shopping season there in Northgate Mall. Officials say you might see some lane closures on Highway 153 as well. 30,000 cars drive that Hickson Pike overpass daily. Even though it's going to be a headache for drivers, TDOT says the maintenance must be done.
A puppy that was stabbed multiple times has recovered and is ready for a new home. Mika was just 12 weeks old when she was stabbed in the eye by a 10-year-old boy last summer. Her eye had to be removed in surgery. Officials with the Humane Educational Society say she makes up for her partial vision loss with her personality.
And we look for the mental effects, you know, and looking at her behavior, and there's nothing that we've seen. She's a very energetic dog now.
Donations covered the $2,000 medical bill needed to rehabilitate Mika. Now all she needs is a big backyard and a family to love. If you'd like to adopt Mika, call the Humane Educational Society at the number there on your screen, 624-5302. Now let's check in with Paul Barris. First weather at 11:07. Paul?
Had some pretty good rain this evening. It's tapering off now west of Chattanooga, and in Hamilton County, still a little bit left over, and we'll show you that in a second. First of all, the forecast for the school day tomorrow, mostly cloudy in the morning, about 43 degrees, not too cold. It's going to be breezy and cool in the afternoon, though, only 48. The actual high for tomorrow is going to be in about 45 minutes from now. It's going to be right at midnight. Here's the Vipers showing where the showers are. Chattanooga right here. Most of the showers are east of the city. A few sprinkles left over. Most of the rain, again, is pushed well south and east of the city, but there's still some moderate rain through southern Bradley County all the way into the Blue Ridge Mountains as of right now. We'll pull back on the Viper, and there's no thunderstorms left. All the bigger thunderstorms are further down to the south, moving past Birmingham, heading towards Atlanta. That's where most of the activity is. And there's a few sprinkles up near Nashville, but not much. We pull back even a little further, and the snow's still falling up into the Great Lakes, so that's where the real cold air is right now. But there is some colder air that will be heading our way for the next few days. Currently it's 58, 60 in Cleveland, 59 Dalton, 58 Athens, and about 56 in Murphy, 59 near Fort Payne. 65 and 36 the high and the low for today. So far at the airport, about 3/10 of an inch of rain has fallen. Skywatchers told me about 1/10 of an inch in Lafayette. Dalton's at about 1/10. Trenton 3/10. This is as about a half hour, 45 minutes ago. Scottsboro about 3/10 so far. Calhoun 2/10. Not that much south of the city, but about 6/10 up near Saudi Daisy, a half inch out near Signal Mountain. 4/10 Red Bank, North Chattanooga, Lookout Mountain, about 2/10 in East Ridge, about 3/10 out near Cleveland, and 4/10 in Wrightsville. Delano, about 2/10 of an inch of rain, while 3/10 in Etowah, about 2/10 up in Athens, 3/10 near Dayton, and then we had about 4/10 near Jasper, and about 2/10 in Cagle Mountain, 3/10 so far out near Colmont. So that was good. We needed that. We could use a lot more, but that's all we're going to get out of this. Look at it, 7 o'clock in the morning. Looks like the clouds will start to break up, and then we'll see some afternoon clouds build in. A fairly strong westerly wind, too. And some snow showers, mainly north of us from Interstate 40 on northward. But I can't rule it out near Fall Creek Falls. You may see a flurry or two. Coming up into Friday afternoon, most of the snow showers will be into the Blue Ridge Mountains. And more cold air is going to be poised and ready to come in into this weekend, too. This is 7 o'clock Saturday morning. And then we get into Saturday night. Snow starting to build along the Ohio River Valley, and watch what happens. Again, some snow showers building up mainly to the north of us, and we may have some sprinkles mixed with some snow showers coming up into Sunday afternoon. Then Sunday night, a few snow showers are possible, so we've got it in the forecast, but we're not expecting any accumulations around here. Pinpoint forecast, afternoon highs, Signal Mountain about 44, and mostly cloudy skies, Lookout Mountain about 45. Again, the actual high is going to be at midnight tonight for most places. Tonight 42, and the showers coming to an end gradually with westerly winds. And then tomorrow, temperatures falling from a high of 59 into the 40s, probably the mid 40s, with westerly winds at 10 to 15, going to make it feel a lot colder. And then for tomorrow night, we're looking at temperatures dropping down to about 32. And it's going to be breezy still, so it's going to feel like it's in the 20s. 7-day forecast, Friday looks dry but breezy, and that breezy weather could continue even into Saturday. Some of the latest weather charts are showing with 49. And then late in the day on Sunday, we may see some flurries, maybe mixed with a sprinkle to begin with, and that may continue right into Monday morning. And then we warm up on Tuesday back into the 50s for highs, and the 50s again Wednesday, maybe a brief shower then. But it's going to feel a little blustery tomorrow. It's not going to feel as nice as it was today when we got into the mid-60s.
Was nice, yeah. All right, Paul, thank you.
Today, Georgia Governor Nathan Deal toured the worst hit areas from last weekend's storms. The governor, along with Congressman Sanford Bishop, flew over the most devastated areas of Dougherty County in a helicopter. The governor said he was amazed by what he called a complete disaster. He said he's working to make sure South Georgia is declared a federal disaster area so that victims can receive federal assistance.
After the break on Eyewitness News at 11, we remember and pay tribute to TV legend Mary Tyler Moore, who died today at the age of 80. We'll take a look back at her life and how she inspired a generation of women to succeed.
Whether you grew up watching her as Laura Petrie or Mary Richards, news of the death of Mary Tyler Moore likely struck you.
In a career that spanned TV, stage, and movies, Moore will be best remembered for 2 sitcoms in which her characters symbolize the changing perceptions of women. NBC's Lester Holt has more.
Who can turn the world on with her smile?
Mary Tyler Moore's smile lit up 2 of television's most enduring and beloved sitcoms of the 60s and 70s, as Laura Petrie, the flustered stay-at-home wife and mother.
Thank you.
And later, upending TV gender stereotypes as a career woman in The Mary Tyler Moore Show.
You got spunk.
Well,
I hate spunk.
Born in Brooklyn in 1936, Moore landed her first job out of high school,
I'm Happy Hot Point.
appearing in appliance commercials as the Hot Point elf. At 17, she married Richard Meeker, then lost her job when she became pregnant at 18 with her only son, Richie.
It's no use, Pete. I'm just fed up.
She returned to TV as a guest star on various series until joining the cast of Richard Diamond Private Detective in 1957.
Grab your pencil, Mr. D.
The Dick Van Dyke Show.
But her big break came in 1961 when she became Dick Van Dyke's TV wife. Show creator Carl Reiner today fondly recalling her audition for the role.
She read the first line, and I heard a ping in her voice that absolutely tickled me.
Hi, guys.
In 1970, she reappeared on TV as Mary Richards on The Mary Tyler Moore Show, produced by her own company, MTM. Her character broke the mold for women in TV sitcoms. She was single, over 30, employed, and actually spent the night with a man.
Why are you here?
Well, I haven't seen you in a month or so, and, you didn't think that the only reason that I was here was to...
And instead of family, she had coworkers and friends.
It's a long way to Tipperary.
From former co-star Ed Asner, I will never be able to repay her for the blessings that she gave me. And from Carol Burnett, one of the sweetest, nicest people I ever knew. Mary Tyler Moore struggled at times in her private life. There was alcoholism.
About the early 70s that I began to drink to the point where I thought about it as a solution.
But it's the funny moments we cherish and remember most. The spunky, ambitious, and hopelessly optimistic Mary.
Is it Minneapolis where they have the iconic pose with the hat thrown into the air?
Mhm.
So if you ever get to Minneapolis and it's
see
warm
it.
enough, stop by and see that statue. When we come back to Eyewitness News at 11, a cargo ship sinks to the bottom of the ocean on purpose. New life as an artificial reef. More details ahead.
And a strong wave blasts through a California restaurant, and it is all caught on camera. And a familiar face on Channel 3, our own Tanisha Cordell sang the national anthem at the Mocs basketball game tonight. We'll hear about the game later in sports, but first, let's hear a little from Tanisha.
A wave crashed into a California restaurant, and our luck, it was all caught on camera. Have a look. Series of storms have pummeled California in recent weeks. Most recent on Saturday sent this giant wave over a 25-foot seawall. It crashed through the windows of the restaurant inside the Best Western Lighthouse Hotel in Pacifica. You could see the water rushing over tables and chairs. No one was inside that restaurant at the time.
Japan Display has unveiled a screen with the potential to shake up the smartphone market. The screen isn't only amazingly thin, it's bendable. The liquid crystal display is just 0.2 millimeters thick. It's suitable for a wide range of uses, from dashboards to smartphones. Officials hope the new LCD screen will help expand the display market, with the focus mainly on smartphones.
A mythical beast now sits at the bottom of the Gulf of Mexico. The Texas Parks and Wildlife Department sank the retired cargo carrier named the Kraken. 67 miles off Galveston last week, 371 feet long. It's now an artificial reef, and it's expected to house fish, coral, and other creatures, as well as attract divers.
Kraken.
That's pretty interesting.
That is. Coming up in sports, the Mocs slip up on their own hardwood.
Matt McCall's calling it their worst loss during his tenure. Paul Shaheen and Joe Jelly have every angle covered next in sports.
You know, it stings, it hurts, you know, arguably. You know, it stings, it hurts. You know, arguably definitely the worst performance we've had since I've been here.
Yeah, there's a reason they call them trap games. The trap was set, the Mocs didn't just step in, they jumped in. The guy named QJ Peterson slammed it shut. But first, for the highlights, a shout out to our teammate Tanisha Cordell. You heard her earlier, rocking that national anthem. Let's get to the action now. Mocs looking okay through the first. Early first, rather. Trey McClain underneath, and JBC breaks free. Burrows cooked the steal drive flush out. Mocs up 6, closer to the half. The Mocs catch the turnover bug. Dixon and Trey McClain back-to-back giving it up, plus many more. Other end, QJ Peterson, the league's leading scorer, starts to heat up. At the half, as it expires, QJ cuts the lead to 2 points. Second half, the frustration is building. Peterson fouled as he shoots. Bucket good. It was Rodney Chapman guarding him, but Justin Toyo, oddly enough, called for the foul. Toyo was 6 feet away from the play. That's his 4th foul, and he goes off. Makende London having to restrain him, ushers him out to calm him down. Toyo forced now to the bench for quite some time. Peterson stays in, stays hot. especially from the outside. The Mocs are down 48-36. Peterson now shaking defenders, hitting another three ball. He just couldn't miss. 7 3-pointers on the night. VMI holding that double-digit lead. Again, Peterson with a three. They score 80 points. 40 of them come from Peterson. 80-64. Your final, the Mocs go down. It's the perfect recipe for an ugly loss. 23 turnovers, ice cold from downtown and the charity stripe, combined with a red-hot opposing guard. Jill Jelnick joins us live in the studio with post-game reaction. Jill, no sugarcoating this one, is there?
No, Paul, no sugarcoating this one. VMI looked like they wanted this win more than the Mocs, and head coach Matt McCall called his team out for it after the game. Overall, he felt they were just going through the motions tonight and playing to get through the game instead of playing to win it.
They wanted the game more than we wanted the game. That's the bottom line. And we were just kind of trying to coast and get through, and you can't do that. They definitely outplayed us. Played harder than us, played more spirited than us, played with greater energy, played with greater effort.
Our energy wasn't really there for the majority of the game. We had a little spurt where we had a lot of energy, but in the first half, but our energy wasn't there majority of the game. So the whole game, I was just trying to get everybody on the same page.
McCall also admitted that he sometimes takes his veteran team for granted and needs to do a better job holding guys accountable and having harder practices. So more than likely, UTC will have a long next couple of days before hitting the road for ETSU on Saturday. Live in the studio, Jill Jelnick, Channel 3 Eyewitness Sports.
Thanks, Jill. Hey, did you know the Vols have played the 12th toughest schedule in the nation? Problem is that stat isn't recognized in the wins and losses column. But if you ask Rick Barnes, there's a direct correlation between the tough schedule and last night's win over 4th-ranked Kentucky.
I'd like to think that the schedule that we've played this year finally showed up to help us break through. I'd like to think they're going up. They've played how many games now? 20 games, and one of the toughest schedules in the country. And I hope they're learning how hard it is to win and what you have to do to win.
And what they had to do was survive a late Kentucky push to lock up that win. It doesn't get easier. As ahead, the Vols have a tough test at home with Kansas State Saturday, 2 p.m. tip. Coming up tomorrow, both the Lady Mocs and the Lady Vols are in action. It's an early tip for Chattanooga. The women start at 11 on the road at Wofford. The Lady Mocs have won 6 straight this year and 13 straight Southern Conference games over the past 2 seasons. The Tennessee women are at Florida tomorrow night at 7. The Lady Vols are 3-3 in league play, 12-7 overall. There may not be 2 hotter offenses in football, and they're set to meet in Houston. In Atlanta, it's really a triple-headed monster. Matty Ice, Julio Jones, and one of 2 running backs. In New England, all signs point to Tom Brady.
He has such an awareness of where to go with the football versus the coverage. So he can, what we'll say the word, throw a guy open. And then the last part, his accuracy is really on point.
Matt Ryan and Julio Jones know a bit about being on point, but for now, Julio Jones is resting. His nagging turf toe will keep him off the field, out of practice until next week. Center Alex Mack is on that same schedule with an ankle issue. Luckily for us, Paul Barris, not injured. He's on deck next with another look at your 7-day forecast.
And our planner has lots of clouds to begin with, but then the wind's really going to kick in. Temperatures will actually be dropping through most of the day, a little secondary maximum temperature into the upper 40s by afternoon, but the actual high will be at midnight with 59. And then looks like dry weather through Saturday, and then maybe some snow showers coming up in the Sunday night and Monday morning.
Oh, thank you. Love was in the air in the Japanese capital today as husbands shouted their love for their wives.
Yeah, the men took the stage at a park downtown in Tokyo to scream out their feelings. They promised eternal love and an early return home from work. Beloved Wife Day is next week, January 31st.
The louder they screamed, the more love they professed, right?
You got that, right?
Have a
Thanks
good
for
night.
joining us.